How to tame the inner critic? Well, most of us have a very strong inner critic and not that strong on the other side, an inner friendly eye which we give us, right? So where does it come from? Till we are 12 years old, we are not that much trained for abstract thinking, for thinking, differentiating, like why is this told to us, like did we made some specific behavior in some specific situation not right, or are we meant as a whole person? Usually till we're 12 years old, we take everything very personal what happens. So that's the first thing. Remind yourself that you are not what others tell you you are, nor in the positive nor in the negative, and also you are not what your inner critics tells you, right? Or anything, any thought in the positive or negative. That's nothing generally about you. Though every thought, every feedback, of course, provokes some emotions, right? But the first thing is to distance yourself, like any thought, any emotion you feel, like that does not need to be the adequate emotion and thought for the situation, right? So first thing, if you have a strong inner critic, or if you feel often like, oh no, that was a huge mistake, then first be aware of it, right? Like journal it down, be aware of these moments, and in these moments also try to distance yourself, like different possibilities. You can think this thought into an extreme, like in an you can sing the thought, you can make a humoristic comic from the thought, you can you can just like try to distance yourself from the thought a little bit, and then also see, okay, what's the function of your huge inner critic? Like sometimes this inner critic has some very functional parts, so it wants to save you from doing something which has negative consequences long term. So it has actually some security function and also some caring function. But sometimes maybe if it's brought into the extreme, it's too much pressure and too much, too often provoking feelings of guilt and shame. So in this case, you can imagine your inner critic as a person. Try to think which image comes into your head, how old is the inner critic, female, male, and you can try to do some chair dialogue. Imagine your inner critic sitting in front of you. What would you ask him, tell him? What would be good times for this inner critic to talk back to you, to reflect on the day, on the week, on the month? What is good times really to reflect on the actions? And in between, one is definitely times where you can just enjoy and also be yourself and not needing to always do things and to reflect things. That's the first impulse to the inner critic. There will be more. And also remember, that's short impulses for short questions. Like if there's a longer, chronic, severe issue, then really contact the doctor next to you. Here it's about 2 or few minutes impulses for short questions. Curious about what's your experiences with your inner critics? What did you find to tame it a little bit? See you next time.